Hello, how are you doing? I hope everything is great. In this video, I'm going to talk about how Mark Twain reflected realism in his novel The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. For a long time, romantic stories were common among writers because they captured the reader's imagination with elaborate tales that couldn't be found in real life. However, in America, around the time of the Civil War, big changes for the country also meant big changes in literature. With huge increases in imagination, technological developments, and war on the horizon, writers began to shift their focus from romantic depictions of life to stories that more accurately represented life as it really was. Writing in a style known as realism, authors like Mark Twain now included real-world settings that actually existed or could exist. They use realistic characters that could be compared to everyday average people in America and represented societal issues that those people really struggled with. In his novel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Twain uses realism to portray life as it really was. He not only explored the impact of realism on the setting and the characters alone, but also he explored it on societal issues such as slavery and hypocrisy. Except that I'm going to talk only about two elements, which are the realistic setting and the characters. Starting by the setting, the story begins in St. Petersburg, Missouri, which is a fictional town that is based on Twain's own hometown. From there, the setting moves to various places along the banks of the Mississippi River. This is one way how Twain depicts realism in Huck Finn, which is obviously through the use of realistic setting. Accordingly, much of the story takes place on the raft floating south on the river itself. Also important to the setting is the time period in which the tale takes place, which it occurs just before the American Civil War. Notably, it was a time when slavery and racism were perfectly acceptable aspects of society, especially in the South. Now moving to the characters, the realism is demonstrated through Twain's use of lifelike characters. Starting by our hero, Huckleberry Finn, who is a young teenage boy, the son of a town drunk who faces real everyday struggles that teenagers often encounter. Secondly, Jim. Jim is Huck's first mate on the raft, who is an average black slave who possesses realistic characteristics like superstition and, unfortunately, ignorance. Accordingly, Miss Watson and the widow Douglas, along with several other characters in the story, are typical white Christians of that time. They are always stressing the importance of having manners and living a pious life. Characters in the story are also realistic in that they are not perfect in all that they do or say. Additionally, Twain is known for depicting realistic language and dialects for his characters that were true to their time and location. For instance, Huck speaks like a poorly educated country boy, while Jim uses broken English and slang typically of a black slave in that time. That is all we have for this video. I hope it was as concise and precise as it should be. And thank you so much for your time and attention.